This is a channeling of the god Mercury on the topic of money. I am he, the thrice-mastered messenger from the heavens to the realms below. You know me as Hermes, or I had given to you my Latin name of Mercury, related especially to my pecuniary qualities in my relationship to money and the marketplace. I am a quintessential figure. I am what makes up the commerce between humans. I am the energy in the middle, the presence through which everything is relayed, possibly misunderstood, but also possibly apprehended and grappled with in exactly the way that it should be. I'm teaching you these lessons of money today to let you know that it is but a medium for transaction. It was never anything but the invisible will of people to interact with each other made manifest. And so notice at this point in your time, this is one of the main components of the structures you have put in place to organize your societies and your lives around, that is shifting rapidly underneath your feet. We understand, for many of you, you live in quite precarious situations regarding money. There are certain factors to this. That is to say, on an individual level, on the level where you are you, the person you are, that are named whatever you are and have a job and a family and relationships and obligations, understand that you are embedded within structures where your relationship to money and the money you have access to and the money that is granted to you by the work output you do is in many ways determined by factors that are beyond your immediate control. So you should not buy into this idea of sublime manifestation of money on that level. That is to say, you can't just imagine yourself with $1 million and then they will fall into your lap. This is a corruption of the law of attraction that has been advantageous for so many members of your species to corrupt, because it allowed them exactly to extract money from people who were, we won't say gullible, but so desperately searching for a remedy to this imbalance they experienced in their life, that they were willing to put money into schemes that promised the money. So understand that the spiritual get quick rich scheme is no different than buying a lottery ticket. It is simply opening your intention to the possibility that you may make a lot of money. And of course, this goes without saying that that is a prerequisite for actually acquiring money, is the intent to do so for most people. much as you won't end up owning a dog unless your intent is to own a dog. Of course, then fate may place a dog in your lap, but for most of you, you would somehow find a way to put it in a shelter or give it a home in another way. And that is the same with money, even though great fortunes sometimes offer themselves to you. For many of you, most of you are not in a position where you want to manifest that energy. We can, for instance, remember that we believe it was early 2013, the medium we are coming through became aware of the phenomenon of Bitcoin, and sort of as a joke, he thought that he had got in on it late, and he thought about buying a couple of them and then just have them sitting around. And of course, had he done so, he would have made an extreme amount of money without having done anything. But what we are pointing to is that he is the type of personality that didn't seek out investments in that point. And so this happens to a lot of you because you are actually somewhat content with the dissatisfaction present in your life around money. So that is one circumstance. Another circumstance, however, is that your relationship with money also, again, and it is as it is often has been stated to you, almost as a cliche, that money is simply energy. Of course, that is not true, because energy exists in and of itself, and money doesn't exist in and of itself. It is simply a mechanism of translation. That is to say, money or currency as the concept that you make transactions in. All of you listening are aware of this concept, and the human beings who have never heard of the concept of money are scattered and few and very far apart on this planet in this time. We progress then exactly on a spiritual level, because money seen as energy signifies whether or not you allow yourself spiritually to feel a material surplus, or you have found it more beneficial to your experience to experience a material deficit in your immediate reality. And that is the image of money for the most of you. You admire the rich person, or we would say in extension, you admire the successful person, exactly because this person you see as a human being that is able to give freely without losing any of what they have. This is the experience of the creative or overpouring artist, whose creation overflows and touches the hearts of those experiencing it, without it somehow detracting from the artist itself, but somehow lending some of its superb quality to enhance the life of that person. And that is what you admire in the image of being rich, in the image of the superfluous bounty, the cornucopia of material wealth. It is the same for, let us say, rich people, and we would use the image of the ultra rich. And that is to say, people you admire for being able to accumulate so much energy, wield so much energy without it destroying them or seemingly weighing them down with responsibility. This is a reason why you fetishize the narrative of the benevolent billionaire. It is because you want this person to have superhuman qualities. You want this person to be able to exert their, you would say, almost moral highness, because this equivalates to their material surplus. But it does not work that way. Understand, it does not work the way you perceive that these people have any type of personal agency in the money they have made. What they have done, all of them, is that they have started processes around them, and these processes were ventures of play. That is to say, these were doings in the world where they were simply seeing if what they were thinking could be turned into reality. And then the money started dripping, and the money became a confirmation that what they were doing was right. And so the money in that sense began to underscore the project. Think, for instance, in the way that once the early MS-DOS prompt was successful for Microsoft, then the success of Windows, as you know it now, was almost inevitable, because the money simply went into the growing of the plaything that had started sprouting from the ideas and the creativity taking place in the hands of course, Bill Gates as the figurehead, but all the other creative energies that he was interacting with at that point in time in the 1980s. And so for the billionaires, the danger is, of course, that they become deluded and identify themselves with the billions. And they think that money has a quality, a personality to it, because it is with you that personality begins and ends. And so we would say, instead of looking at the money in your life, look at what elements of your personality sprout. That is to say, what are the sides of your person that simply wish to realize themselves, that want to live and laugh and express themselves? Choose these sides, look at them, and observe how they work much in the same way as all the other creative projects you have admired, something sprouting almost indifferently to the personality that has brought it about. And then observe the trees you have already grown in your life, all the things that have come to fruition, all the relationships you have had, some of them meaningful still, others shifting into other perspectives and lessons for you, all of them a part of the major growth of your own private existence, the garden that each and every one of you, for all your misgivings, have cultivated and still cultivate in order to liven up the planet and bring peace between chaos and order, and between the forces inside you and the forces outside you, the forces below you and the forces above you. I will leave you with this message. I am Hermes, thrice mastered, the god of Mercury, the planet that floats in the direction that is most suitable for the message it carries. Peace be unto you. I am with you, sharing my knowledge, always. Farewell.